I'm going to show you a set of DAW Flow Max turbos that I did a rebuild on, and I'll show you what happened with them that caused them to need a repair. So here's a look at the DAW Flow Maxes. The compressor wheels look really nice. You know, some things I didn't really like about it was that it's tapered on the inside here. I guess because it's getting so big on that compressor wheel, it's getting thin. The wastegate bushing definitely was in really bad shape. I checked to make sure it was actually stainless, and it was. So what I had to do is I had to make my own bushings. So this is one that I made, and this was not made the correct size, so I had to make another one. Well, I made 3 of them altogether. This is the stainless steel round that I got to be able to make these out of. So this was this, but now we machined it out and it's the size that we needed. Besides, that one was a little bit too big by 2,000, so I made another one. Thrust bearing wore out on this a little bit. I want to show you what's going on with that. You can see how tiny those holes are. I mentioned this before that we have a thrust bearing upgrade that's got bigger holes in there, so I'll link the rebuild kit down in the description box. These are a little bit different than the V's. You'll notice that it was drilled at the top and drilled all the way through, so the holes are actually centered up. They're still really small. So I'll show you what it looks like in comparison to the thrust bearings that I have. Here's the quality difference in our thrust bearings. You can see how much bigger our thrust bearing holes are in comparison to the ones used in these DAW Flow Max turbos. Looks like the main reason these are here is because something went through the turbine wheel and caused damage. Most likely a piece of the engine broke and went through the turbine, or some type of debris. So it could have been a piece of the piston or the valve or something along those lines that destroyed this. If you look closely, you can see that the rear seal was still good. So what I'm looking for is the edge of that rear seal, and you can see that it's perfectly square. Can't see any wear on there. And I checked both sides and they both look good, but you can see that oil was seeping in behind this seal anyway. One thing that's super important that you need to know about these is the wastegate bushings are not the OEM size. So this is our wastegate repair kit, and this does not fit in there because these are about 10,000 smaller on this diameter here. I can't remember the exact size of this one. I need to measure that, but the one I had to make was 690 thousandths here. And then the outside doesn't really matter. You can see that they didn't even put an outer area. I put that on there because I want to make sure that this stops where it's supposed to stop. And then that will regulate where the wastegate flap is around the hole. So I just copied my own bushing, but I changed the diameter size to match the diameter of this one. I did this. I also used the longer flap arms, so they're upgraded, so they should even last longer. You can tell it looks like, yeah, these are not upgraded because you can see that the extra length we added is going to help them last longer. Unfortunately, I don't have a rebuild kit or the proper bushings available for these, so I really need to get that made. If I do have them made, I'll put them in the description box of this video. I want to show you the other details of these turbos. So here's your wastegate flap and all that stuff. I replaced all that. These turbine housings are stainless steel. I really like the quality of these. These are much better than other turbine housings out there. The edges are actually rounded properly. I like that where it's rounded around that wastegate area, because if it's really sharp there like the MMPs are, then it will crack, and it's really common that that will happen. I think these turbos are pretty good quality. I just would change out that bearing. That's just my opinion. I don't know how well they're holding up with this bearing. You know, the holes are smaller. They could be bigger. I would just upgrade it if I had that opportunity. So I'll link to all the rebuild kits in the description box. Here's a comparison to the factory size wastegate flap versus the upgraded size. The upgraded size is machined farther down. This one is not machined as far. To use this, we also have to have the matching bushing. You can see there on the factory size how much extra material there is for the wastegate flap to have more ground on so it will last longer by, you know, me putting this longer flap on there. Looks like on our upgraded flap with the upgraded bushing, get more room for it to wear. It should last a lot longer. It's the same length as OEM. Actually, it looks like it might have been even shorter. You can see how it compares with like an OEM size bushing in comparison to our longer bushings. So that concludes this video. I'm now selling a lot of my product on Shopify. I sell some on Amazon. Amazon keeps deleting my listings. I had an eBay account. Of course, eBay deleted that. And I also started a new eBay account, but I didn't really want to mention that until my next couple videos because I'm trying to launch that eBay account in January and then get as many sales as I can before they realize that I created another eBay account. Is that these use the same rebuild kit that I have designed for the RB turbos, which is a TD04 rebuild kit, but the compressor housing uses the TD03 compressor housing O-ring. So it's a TD04 kit, but with the TD03 compressor O-ring. They're not the same as the Vive kits. That's really important. I'll just make sure that I put the correct link in the description box if you're trying to repair a set of these.